Hello, fellow human activists. Your wellness coach, Cathy is here, and we are here for our wellness playlists, and we're talking about sleep, okay? And in particular, how more sleep equals better decisions. So I don't need my glasses now that I'm looking at myself. And so what we're going to do, as usual, is perform our positive quotient repetitions, or PQ reps. And these are ways, these are basically your muscle building for mental fitness. Okay. We're building up that, um, your core muscles. Okay. So get ready. You can be standing or sitting. You don't have to close your eyes. Sometimes it helps. Um, so here we go. Go ahead and roll your shoulders back. Close your eyes if you feel safe, and if it's only safe to do so. And just concentrate on your breath through your nose, though. So notice the temperature of the air coming into your nose. Then notice it coming out of your nose. There's a slight difference. So don't change your breathing. Now we are going to take just a few deep breaths, but this time we're going to inhale through our nose, and then we're going to exhale with the audible sigh. And that sigh matters. Okay, so don't be embarrassed. Here we go. Inhale, and then exhale with that sigh. One more time. Inhale through your nose. Fill up those lungs. And then exhale with the sigh. And go ahead and blink your eyes open if they were closed. Cool. So you hopefully have settled down from even just again from just a few seconds ago. So today's topic is sleep. And I will probably very well repeat myself on occasion, and that's okay because you can't hear it enough. Sleep is so important. But today's topic in particular, as the thumbnail said, more sleep equals better decisions. Now, you could always qualify that and say, okay, it has to be quality sleep. And I agree, right? Um, do not ever make the mistake of thinking that sedation, is the same as actually quality sleep, because they're not the same. So why do I say that? Because a lot of people say, oh, well, my sisters included, that was the best sleep of my life. They had their first colonoscopies. And, they were given sedatives, or they were sedated, right? I wasn't, by the way, for my last one or the last three that I had. I've had four colonoscopies. All of us, unfortunately, get to be screened more often because of our family history. So why do I'm digressing for a reason, just to make the point here. But when you are sedated in any way, shape, or form, and that also will include through alcohol, okay? Like let's say you drink too much and then you fall asleep, right? Sedation is not the same as actual quality sleep. It will never be. And do not ever feel that just because you might lull yourself to sleep, and when, like whether that's in front of a screen, whether that is through external means of any type, right? Um, Sedation, okay, is not the equivalent of actual quality sleep. What happens, okay, is that whatever stimuli you use to get you to sleep, which is funny because it is a stimuli ultimately, that puts you to sleep, which is interesting, right? Um, your body knows the difference, and it's not going to have the same outcomes. Um, as opposed to when you actually go to sleep naturally, okay? And I bring that up because it makes a big difference. So why do I say more sleep, okay, is better than or greater than, or I'm sorry, more sleep means greater or better decision. Because when you have quality sleep, let me tell you, all right, your brain knows the difference. Oh, I didn't follow up with my sisters. So again, they went through being sedated for their colonoscopies, and two of them are moms, so they don't get a lot of sleep to begin with. And they were laughing with each other in a text saying that was the best sleep of, or the best nap of our lives. No, I corrected them very quickly and said, no, you were sedated. So nothing about sleep took place. You were artificially induced into basically what could be considered, right, a comatose state. When you're sedated, that medicine artificially tells your brain, oh, we are going to slow down and we're going to go to sleep. But the actual chemicals that theoretically tell your brain that you are truly asleep never take effect. And that's not a good thing, because when you are asleep, there are four components of a sleep cycle, right? You have a sleep cycle. I have a whole video on this, but you have a sleep cycle. Okay. And within that sleep cycle, there are four stages. You go through, hopefully, within an 8 hour period, 7 to 9 hours, right? When you're in a steady sleep, you've gone through that cycle. If you're lucky, quite literally, like maybe 3 to 4 times. That's the point of sleep. You're trying to get through these stages of sleep. When you are sedated, which is what I should have started with, that never happens. All right, because chemicals have literally like gone into your brain and said, we're just gonna keep you at this like weird little level. So sedation, not the same as again, a good quality sleep. So back to the point of all this, more sleep equals better decisions. This is a true statement. So when you do get quality sleep, okay, and let's not mistake the point that some people say, well, I'm very alert after only 5 hours sleep. Understand this little stat, okay? Anything less than 7 hours of sleep means that you are cutting your lifespan shorter at the end, just to let you know, because people who get less than 7 hours of sleep routinely don't live as long, okay? So again, more sleep equals better decisions. And I want you to think about the fact when you are, let's put it this way, when you have more sleep, okay, and hopefully it's quality sleep, when you are rested, your nervous system, which is, we're all about the nervous system here, regulation of your nervous system. When you have during your waking hours a more regulated nervous system, okay, you will react more logically, more critically, more astutely, okay, to any circumstance. That's just a given. You have a clear-headedness about you when you have enough rest. Your body, okay, as a whole, from your head to your toes, quite literally, have the reaction time necessary to quickly get yourself out of any situation, okay, whatever that situation might be. And your critical thinking is absolutely at risk when you are not getting sufficient sleep. I I hesitate to say, everyone's different, okay? So, I get the point. Some people are night owls, quote unquote. And I have my best thoughts at 2 to 3 a.m. Okay, that might in some ways be true, but guess what? Evolutionary, okay? Evolution says otherwise. Now, again, I can't ding everyone because some people, seriously, they work the night shift, and so they're awake when most of us are asleep, let's say. but they're missing out on evolution's natural way of cleaning out our brains and our whole rejuvenation system, okay? When we're asleep, when we should be between the hours of 10 p.m. and like say basically from sundown to sun up, our bodies theoretically want to be asleep. And that's evolution based, okay? Evolution does not work as fast as our technology is, okay? So medical advances, right? They're coming quickly and evolution can't keep up with them, all right? But sleep, more sleep is essentially awesome to better decisions. Why? Again, when you have sufficient sleep and when you keep accumulating that sleep, right, that better sleep, your body starts to understand how it can actually gain, all right, from that sleep. So it starts to tell you subconsciously, oh, it's 10 o'clock and you're still watching this binge of whatever's on Netflix. No, no, no. We're going to bed. Like you will start getting cues from your body on purpose because it knows the difference now. Your better decisions will reverberate throughout your life in the best way. And, you might say, okay, well, what if I'm in obviously when you're in a life or death situation, you only have split seconds. So your adrenaline is going to take over. So you don't need to have slept. In some cases, that's very true. Your fight or flight system is beyond remarkable. I mean, we've seen feats, right, of there was a specific story about a nana, a grandma, who literally lifted up a car that had unfortunately, um, in some way, shape, or form, her grandson was caught underneath the car. And he was, now you would think, okay, right, a car, obviously, if the kid's underneath it, they might be able to get out or whatnot. But I don't know what the situation was. But the grandma actually was able to lift the car enough and the child was the child got out. Had she not done that though, the child very, very well may have perished. So she had this adrenaline rush and accomplished something so incredible. She couldn't believe it herself, right? Yes, adrenaline can do that. And afterwards, she probably was depleted for like a very long time of her physical ability to even move. Your body can, in fact, complete fantastical, feats of nature, but it comes at a cost, and your body will respond by shutting down. Now, it may not like, you may not like go into a coma, thank goodness, right? But your body is going to say, "Oh, I'm done for like, oh, let's say, the next few days." It literally will not. It needs to rejuvenate. With sleep, though, when you have constant sleep and it's quality sleep, you have then given your body the natural hormones to help you on a daily basis, not necessarily achieve lifting a car every day, but the equivalent of that is being able to make better decisions, which are not taxing your brain quite so hard. You will be able to solve problems faster. You will be able to, again, have critical thinking, um, accomplishments happen quicker, right? Don't Do not underestimate the power of sleep. A third of your life is spent sleeping. There's a reason for that. That's how important it is. So again, the moral of the story today was more sleep equals better decisions. Why? Because when you are tired, you're usually more irritable. And that means that your decisions are not the best. Whereas on the reverse, when you're rested, when you've let your body naturally go through that rejuvenation process, you're very focused. In fact, you're probably very thoughtful because you have the ability to not just critically think, but also to, for sure, have empathy, have patience, have all the qualities that make up both your creative side and your logical side, right? So with that, that was a long way to say more sleep equals better decisions. and we'll see you next time. Until then, take care, take charge, God bless.